Today, we will be taking the fastest train in the Middle East to the second most holy city in the world, Medina. It's absolutely breathtaking. This high-speed rail connects the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. It's very, very premium. And today we'll be exploring a place steeped in history, spirituality, and significance. One of the most beautiful buildings I've ever seen. As non-Muslim travelers, Medina isn't a destination we ever imagined we'd get to visit. But parts of this incredible city are open to tourists, and we're here to discover what makes it so special, beyond what most people ever get to see.
I've never seen that before.
From peaceful streets to an ancient mosque, this journey isn't just about the train. It's about discovering a side of Medina the world rarely sees or talks about. Let's find out what Medina is really like together. And good morning from Jeddah Airport, which is also the train station. I'm super excited that we're going to be taking the fastest train in the Middle East today. And as you can see, there is a giant aquarium behind me. I've never seen an airport aquarium before, but it's so cool. There's sharks in there, there's stingrays, there's all sorts of varieties of fish. And we've just arrived bright and early this morning. We're about to take a 2-hour train to Medina. So first things first is we got to check in, get our tickets checked, and go through security.
This is absolutely mind-blowing for me. They've got this giant cylinder. I'm not sure how many thousands of liters of water they have. There's sharks inside, there's rays, and you can see there's these 2 escalators going up and down. I have never experienced that before. Arriving at an airport and seeing sharks.
I can't help but notice how incredibly beautiful and modern this airport is.
There are 2 high-speed railway stations in Jeddah and one is at the airport, so we decided to come to this one. And what you do is walk straight from the airport through here, and here's the train station. Very easy, very seamless. So we've got about 20 minutes before our train leaves. And there's only one line of this high-speed rail, which is very interesting, that connects Medina to Mecca, 2 of the holiest cities in the world. And it's about 450 kilometers long. But in the center of it is Jeddah. So it connects those 2 cities together.
I think for a very, very long time, non-Muslims were not allowed to enter Medina at all. But I think things have changed recently. So of course, we are super curious and we are so excited to finally discover this city. This is the first time that I've actually seen so many pilgrims taking an aeroplane and obviously taking the train to Medina and Mecca.
And a lot of people you'll see throughout today are dressed in traditional wear, in religious wear. They are wearing a white cloth. Sometimes it's 2 or 3 pieces.
It's actually incredible to see all of these people who are passing through to go to a very, very special place at least once in their entire lifetime. They look really amazing, and I can't tell you how special it is just to even witness it. So we actually booked the ticket online, and we'll tell you how we did that just a little bit later and the price. But it says we are economy seat 118. So let's go scan our ticket.
So for this train, there is a economy class, which we're taking. Then there's a business and a first class as well. So if you want to travel in a more comfortable, luxurious setting, you can. But for only 2 hours, we thought economy is okay.
Good morning.
Taking a vlog for the whole trip, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yes.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Off you go, boss.
Thank you so much.
Trip, okay?
Thank
Nice
you
to
so
meet you.
much.
Thank you.
They are so unbelievably amazing. Every step of the way we've been helped, we've been greeted, and it's honestly made our experience so lovely. The people here are so heartwarming. I love them. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, super easy. One side is Mecca, one side is Medina. 8 a.m. Thank you.
How easy is that? Medina this side, and then there it says Mecca. I think this is a once in a lifetime experience to be able to visit this holy city. Millions of people, billions of people around the world wish that they could visit. So we're very lucky today. If you've always wanted to visit Medina, I hope that this video shows you what it's like. This is the platform. It's completely outdoors. Wow, look at this. The sun's just coming up. There's giant fans for when it gets so hot in the summer. And look, 8 a.m. to Medina. Wow, this is special. Look at this train. It is incredibly modern. It looks so futuristic. It's also really tall compared to some of the other high-speed rails we've taken before. A really long nose. It's also extremely long. It goes all the way down there. First high-speed rail ever in the Middle East. I think it can go up to 360 kilometers an hour, but it's limited to 300, which is still very quick. And I think the scenery we're gonna see going through the desert today in a high-speed train is gonna be extra special. This station is absolutely massive. We got a train on this side, train on this side, and you can see it's the Haramain high-speed railway. I've never been to a station that's obviously as big as this, but open air, and even the platform is huge. I think this one line on the railway can transport up to 30 million passengers per year. So I think that's why they need this much space. Okay, as we're making our way down to the train, we can see here the green doors are economy. So we're at the end because we're in economy, not in first class.
This is us, cot 6. Here we go. I'm so excited. I think this is where we go. I can already see there's a bathroom here and all the luggage storage. Luckily, we're only going for a day, so we didn't need to pack any luggage. So let's go find our seats.
Right away, our seats are extremely comfortable. So we've got our seat number 118 and 119, that's us over there. We've got a tray table, like an airplane, quite a big tray table as well.
Coffee holder, very important. We also have some charging ports, USB charging cables over here. We have a little dustbin.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. A little trash can in the middle. Never seen that before, that's new. And a really good footrest. And there's a little compartment here if you need to hold something as well. This is what the train looks like, extremely modern.
Luggage storage at the top and then a separate luggage storage for bigger suitcases. So if you have a little backpack, there's enough space. You don't need to stick it under your seat or anything. There's a lot of space here.
And this is economy.
Yeah, this is economy. I can't wait to see what first class looks like. 8 o'clock on the dot. They have left exactly on time. I love that. It's already a thumbs up from me.
So we're going backwards to Medina, and that's always a weird feeling on a train, to be like reversing all the way. It kind of gives you this weird feeling of
like
space and time, like you're on a roller coaster.
Heading towards Medina Station, we wish you a pleasant trip. You will now hear a supplication in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, recited upon his travels.
We are officially underway, and already we're picking up speed over 150 kilometers an hour, and the train is very stable, very smooth, but also very quiet, and it's a complete electrical train. There are 2 lines going each way, and it's connecting 2 Islamic holy cities within 2 hours, which is amazing. And if you had to drive from Jeddah to Medina, it would take 4 to 5 hours, so you're practically cutting that time in half. And there is an option to fly, but if you factor in all of the time waiting at the airport, driving to the airport, it's going to take you way longer. And what I always love about a train is it's always on time, where sometimes if you take a plane, it can be delayed. So this is definitely the best way to travel. And it's the only high-speed train in the whole of Saudi Arabia and one of the fastest in the Middle East. I've also seen that there's like a TV screen just above the seats which shows a map of where we're going to Medina, how far we've gone, which coach we're in, as well as the speed that we're going in. But it also shows the direction of Mecca. Even if you need to pray on the train, you know which direction Mecca is at all times.
What makes this train journey even more comfortable is the fact that we can connect to the free Wi-Fi. But free Wi-Fi cannot always be trusted, because when you're looking through your booking information for your hotel, you're going through your banking apps, your emails, your information could be easily tracked and exposed. So you should always use a VPN. And that's why we want to thank Surfshark for sponsoring this video. And if you don't know what a VPN is, it stands for Virtual Private Network, which pretty much acts as a mask, encrypting all of of your sensitive data sent between your device and the internet so you can avoid being hacked. Connecting to public Wi-Fi in the hotel, cafe, airport, or even trains could be a gold mine for hackers. So it's always best just to connect to your VPN so you know you have peace of mind and you're always protected. We've been using Surfshark for the past 2 years now. We always have our Surfshark app on our phones ready for whenever we need it. But Surfshark isn't always just used for security. Let's say you're in a foreign country and you miss your shows from back home, for example Netflix UK, and you go to Thailand, those shows aren't there. By simply changing your virtual location, you can get access to unlimited content libraries. Plus, Surfshark is the only VPN to offer one account for unlimited devices. And there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there is no risk to try it out. Go to surfshark.com/ChevandDev and use our code ChevandDev at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. We'll be using our VPN on this train journey and for our future countries to come, so we highly recommend give it a try. Just click the link in the description below. So we paid around 138 Rial for this economy class ticket per person, which comes to about $37 a ticket. And I think that's really affordable. Even though the flight is quicker, you can get some incredible views, reduce your carbon emissions, and it only costs $30. We use an app called Rail Ninja, plus I think the train goes every hour, so it's really, really convenient.
Now we are seriously picking up speed. We've left the city of Jeddah and now we're reaching 260 kilometers an hour. So I'm sure soon we're going to be at that 300 kilometer an hour mark. It's always a crazy feeling to have the buildings and the landscape travel past you so quickly, like you would on an aeroplane, but now you're at ground level. And for us to be going backwards, it feels even more drastic. It feels like things are coming past our head so quickly. I'm seeing on the screen we're at 295 kilometers an hour. And this is what it looks like. At 300 kilometers an hour through the desert. Also, we're going to see some of the countryside here in the southwestern part of Saudi Arabia. We've only been in Riyadh and Jeddah, the 2 biggest cities. So now we're going to see some of the smaller towns, we're going to see some of the countryside, and predominantly see most of the desert, which is really fascinating.
We've seen a couple of settlements of little buildings every now and again. Obviously, it's separated by lots and lots of desert and sand, so we see nothing for a long time. And then we also happen to notice that there are a couple of tents that are situated in the desert, and I'm wondering if they're nomadic tents. I wonder if people live there, and I'm curious to know what life is like if you are living in the desert where you're not close to any sort of urban development like what we've seen in Jeddah, because there's so much up and coming in the city. Plus, we've also seen a couple of camels, which are really cool.
I think the terrain today is going to be completely different to the other high-speed trains we've taken in like Japan, South Korea, China, Jakarta, which are more luscious, green, tropical climates, where here it's very dry. So we're going to see a lot of sand and a lot of shrubs. As I'm looking out, you can see there is just sand. There's nothing else. There's a few trees and shrubs, excuse the slightly dirty window, but for miles and miles, there's absolutely nothing in sight. Not a building or a person anywhere. That is absolutely fascinating.
So as you know, I do a bathroom tour in every single train that we go on. So here we go. So we've got mirror, we've got basin, water and soap, toilet, bum gun. We've even got little buttons for flushing, holding on in case it's a bumpy ride. We've got some toilet paper. It is super clean, even quite spacious. We've even got a little baby changing board, which is amazing. Overall, very, very clean, and it actually still looks brand new. So we've even got a little coat rack. So that's your bathroom tour. What's amazing for me is we're passing passing by these little shrubs, these green little bobs of shrubs everywhere. And it kind of reminds me of our similar climate in South Africa. We've got a very dry, almost desert-like climate. Plus, we're next door to one of the largest deserts in the world, in Namibia. And this is bringing back a lot of similarities. When we do a lot of road trips, we see a similar kind of terrain here. And it makes me think how hot it must get in the summertime. The climate must be almost unbearable, I think to about maybe 46 to 50 degrees Celsius. But luckily this train can still operate because it's got a specific kind of cooling technology. So the train is still able to operate even in those high temperatures.
You would think the desert is only sand, flat, but it's mountainous here. There's dark rocks, there's white sand, then there's like a dark orange sand. Then there's small patches of just lots and lots of palm trees, kind of like an oasis in the middle of the desert. Some of the most interesting terrain I've ever seen. So we're slowing down now, which means we're officially entering Medina. And the station is just 15 or 20 minutes outside of Medina city. So we're gonna have to find a taxi. This already feels like it's gonna be special.
Here's an IKEA. It's good.
Unexpected. So we've made it, and there's in fact a full cafeteria on the train. So here you can buy some biscuits, there's sandwiches, bread, and I think you can get a coffee as well. I see popcorn, there's chocolates, biscuits.
Sorry, can we look at business class just to have a look? Okay, thank you. And I want to actually just show you what the business class looks like. So if I go here, this is what business class looks like. And I think it's pretty amazing. It's very, very premium. And you've even got some fold-out tables where you could actually sit if you're in a couple or even as a family.
Look at the quality of these seats though. You've got a headrest much wider than what we had in economy. And I think this folds out as well. Wow, this is really nice.
Plus, they even have little television screens as well for extra entertainment.
It's like a business class flight seat.
Very premium. So let's look. Hello. So let's look at first class. This is a very similar setting here in first class. Is this first class?
I think it's the same. I just don't want to take too long or else the train's going to leave us.
Okay. And now we're officially in Medina.
But now it's the fun part. When you arrive in a new city, the best thing to do is go out and explore. Out of all the high-speed trains that we've ever taken, this really has to be one of the most luxurious, one of the most modern.
I think they invested about $16 billion into this train system, and I must admit it was well worth it to take the train. I highly recommend it if you're wanting to come to Medina.
The 2 hours flew by. Honestly, I was just looking out the window, trying to spot a camel or two, and before you know it, we're here. I can see at the front of our train, it's actually SAB Bank marketed and branded, and it's all red in the front of the train. Very cool. I can't believe how high the train is. Most of the trains that we've taken aren't that high. I'm not sure what the reason for that is, but it's also got a really unique shape.
Actually looks like a dragon, like a very fast dragon. And of course the red makes it even more dynamic, because sometimes with the white you can actually see when all the bugs have splattered on the front of the nose. So the red actually looks very, very cool, a dynamic color for a high-speed train.
Next time on Chevendev, we finally step foot into the second most holy city in the world, a place that few non-Muslims ever get to see. Join us as we uncover the beauty, the mystery, and the warmth of Medina.